I'm here with Shannon Miller. She calls herself a mom, wife, teacher, librarian, presenter, consultant, and blogger. She's from Van Meter, Iowa. She has a very big presence on social media. She has a mere 23,000 followers on Twitter, and she's also fairly active on Twitter with just over 50,000 tweets. So, with that, Shannon, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Derek.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure, and I appreciate your time. Let's dive right into it. We're going to ask a few questions about technology and trends, and I know you spend a lot of time blogging, talking with people, researching, things like that. So first question, how do you feel the current technology trends are impacting student learning?
Well, at Van Meter, we have a lot of technology in our schools. We're in the fifth year this coming fall of our one-to-one initiative with our kids 6-12, and our fourth and fifth graders are going to pilot iPads this fall, and then we're putting more carts into the other classrooms as well. And so our kids have access to a lot of technology, and also access just to resources and the tools that they need to really do what we're trying to do at Van Meter all the time. And so I think that it's really impacted us at Van Meter in really moving to the next step and making a change in the way that we are not just teaching, but the way that everyone is learning, that teachers included. And I think that these current trends of things like one-to-one initiatives and bring your own device and Web 2.0 tools that are online that are, mainly free for kids to use. I think that all of those things together are going to really shift where we need to all be in educating our young people, just to get them, creating and project-based and a lot of, student-centered learning, connecting with the world. And so all of these things together, I think, will take us to where we all want to be as educators and cheerleaders of how we want our young people to see the world, to see the next step that they need to be at.
Excellent, very insightful. There, as you mentioned, there are a lot of different technologies out there, from apps to hardware, software. What instructional technology trends do you feel will have the biggest impact on teaching efficiency and effectiveness and student learning in the next 12 to 24 months?
Well, once again, just some of the things, that I said. I think that I try to be really positive about, I love to see it when schools have a lot of, technology or their own devices that they're purchasing in their schools. But, if they need to do something like a bring your own device and programs like that, that I hope that schools are open to that. And not just that, but also giving the kids, opening up access, like, stop blocking things and open up access that these kids need to have. Because with all of these tools that, we all see that are all, so great to use, like, a new maybe a Web 2.0 tool that's online. Well, if it's blocked, it's not doing any good for everyone. And so I think opening up that access and giving them the tools too, I think that's the first step, with all of these trends that we need to do first. And also, like, just being at ISTE and just being at the ALA conference, some of the different trends that we see is, flipped learning, putting a lot more video, a lot more of the learning into the hands of the kids, as well as not just, having the teachers maybe flipping it, but the kids too. And once again, the, project-based, I think that those are all things that are going to work hand in hand with these tools that we have. So they need to happen together. I mean, that's what I see at Van Meter, and people ask about the success that we've had at our school, and I think it's because we, started that way, and we didn't, this is 5 years now, and we started out slow, and we started out all as a team, and we've added things as we went, and it's just like the trends that are coming up that I think we've laid a good foundation for these things to be successful.
That's a good point, and you're absolutely right. Having a focused effort, a planned effort, can be difficult sometimes with technology changing and things coming in from all different directions. So great point. Next question: what we like to look at different technologies and do it right, but we sometimes also learn from mistakes. So you talk with a lot of people that are educators, and what are the top 2 or 3 technology adoption or integration mistakes you're seeing in the field?
Well, I think that probably one of the biggest mistakes is, what I just said, is that people, I think, jump right into thinking that they're going to put the technology into the schools and the tool is going to be what makes, the difference, and that's going to be like, the one thing that makes this true change or difference, and that's not it. We put the computers into the kids' hands, but that's just a tool that they have to get to where we want them to be. They also need access, once again, which is a huge thing that I see sometimes as a problem, that they, are turning off their computers at a certain time, that they don't have access to a lot of things that they need at school. And so those things, that's another layer of, not being successful. But I think that you have to remember that that's just a vehicle to get you there. And so I see that when people come to Van Meter and visit, or when I have conversations with people and they say, we just need to get to that next step, those are usually some of the things that maybe they haven't gotten there. And so I think just, like I said, laying that foundation and being open and transparent as a school community with parents and teachers and administrators and students, everybody together, to really get them to where they need to be. And let's see, another problem that I see, that's probably the biggest one right there. I can't think of, I think I probably said two, access and, just being able to lay that foundation for the tools. Another thing too, I think that sometimes also may cause some problems is if schools maybe don't have people designated to help with the tech integration. And, teachers, it's great to collaborate when you have somebody to sit down and just talk through, how you're going to integrate technology and how you're going to integrate the Common Core with everything you're doing, or whatever standards that you might be trying to hit. But having that tech integrationist or teacher librarian, my administrators are great at that part at Van Meter, but somebody that can really, really help you, that has the expertise and the background and that collaborative spirit that you can work with. I think that that's another thing that can help school districts.
Excellent. Some great points there. I think some common themes of, persistence and perseverance and again, planning, and that's even from a staff level. So appreciate that. Lastly, we've talked a little bit about maybe some things that are trending at the moment in the next, year or so. In 140 characters or less, I'm not going to hold you to that, how do you see education changing, let's go out a little bit farther, in the next 3 to 5 years?
How do I see it changing? Well, I see, all of these things, and I try to not put myself always in Van Meter, but kind of as, just as I travel and talk to people on Twitter, maybe at conferences. But I really see education as becoming student-centered and project-based, that isn't just inside our walls of our school anymore, but that goes outside of the walls of our classrooms, really to give our kids their own voice and to make a difference themselves for their education.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, her name is Shannon Miller. She can be found on Twitter with a Twitter handle at Shannon Miller, spelled exactly as it sounds.
It's actually Shannon M. Miller.
Shannon M. Miller. I'm sorry. Okay, so that's okay. Let's do the full thing. SHANNON M. Miller at Shannon M. Miller on Twitter. Her blog can be found at vanmeterlibraryvoice.blogspot.com. Did I get that one right?
You did. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much.